Hey everybody, welcome back to the Infinite Regression. Oh man, infinite as all get out. Hey, today we're going to be playing another Nintendo game, an NES game from back in the day. We're going to be playing one of the classics. It is Bad Dudes. Now, Bad Dudes comes to us from Data East. Came out in 1989, which was a great year for beat-em-up franchises. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm going to tell you up top, this is a game that is, the NES version is skating on two things, and two things really. Number one is the fact that it has the most over-the-top 80s intro of all time. We all know it. We all love it. You know, President Ronnie got kidnapped. We know it's President Ronnie because that's what we're told in the arcade version. And President Ronnie, based off of Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time, he gets kidnapped by ninjas, of course. And the question is, are you a bad enough dude to save the president? And you get your choice. You can play one player or two player, just like Double Dragon, another game that was, really killing it at the time. And you could choose between Blade and Striker. I have no idea what the difference between the two is. I have played as both, and no. It's not even a Mario and Luigi thing. It's like the two Contra guys from Contra. Isn't one of them named Billy? I don't remember the names of the guys from Contra. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, here's the thing you're going to notice when you're looking at this gameplay footage. First of all, this game moves like one of those Tiger Electronic handheld games. It's blinky as all get out. And I know that I captured this footage in emulation, but I'm telling you, I've played this on original hardware. It is just as blinky, if not worse. Yeah, your character, it's not a smooth walking animation, and granted, look, beat-em-ups on the NES were not super easy to do. Those of us who remember, like, if you ever were hanging out in Peter Piper Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese or somewhere, my childhood, it was Peter Piper Pizza, and you were playing that 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. You know, you wait in line, you wait for somebody to die, you got your quarter in hand, you just can't wait to get up there and then hopefully not die too quickly. Yeah, that was the whole thing. And when you saw the NES port of that game, you were like, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Like, surprisingly nicely close. There is no comparison between Bad Dudes, the arcade game, and the Bad Dudes NES version. The NES version is so primitive, prehistoric looking when compared to the arcade version. The arcade version looks 16-bit, like a full, and probably was, for all I know, and looks like a Super Nintendo beat 'em up, or better yet, a Genesis beat 'em up, and the NES version looks like it predates the original Double Dragon, which it does not. I will tell you the truth, like, the gameplay of this game is kind of mushy, and you have to get used to it. Like, the hit detection is not spot on. It's not as good as you would like it to be. I'm just saying that is true. I had my issues with it. Look, I love beat-em-ups, and I'm like half decent at beat-em-ups, but I was getting my butt kicked in this game because, like, you have a few different attack types, right? You've got a kick, you've got a punch, you've got a spinny jump kick. Those are the things that you have. And then you got weapons that you can pick up. You can pick up a knife, you can pick up some nunchucks. There may be others, I never got to them. But yeah, there are a few different things that you can do. and your regular attacks are fairly predictable. But you know what's completely unpredictable? Is that spinning kick that you really, really need sometimes. Like the first boss, I could not beat the first boss until I learned how to semi-reliably throw that kick. That's it. That's the entire thing right there. And I'm talking semi-reliably. I did not beat that boss until I could almost be called upon to most of the time do that move, but not always. So yeah, it's not the best gameplay experience that you're going to have on the NES. Most of what this game rides on is the ridiculous premise, are you a bad enough dude to save the president who has been kidnapped by ninjas? That's the big question. Number one. So, yeah, find out, play the game and find out. Yeah, that's a great idea. That is one of the all-time greatest premises for a video game ever in the history of ever. But yeah, that stands to reason. So it's skating on that. It's skating on a lot of nostalgia, and it's skating on the fact that there exists an arcade version of this game that is infinitely more playable. Because this NES version also has very, very spotty and ridiculous and awful voice synthesis. It does. It totally does. And if you've ever heard voice synthesis on the NES, like, it's not amazing most of the time. It's just not. I mean, it's better than, you know, the voice synthesis that we got on, say, the Intellivision, where you had to have a specialized cartridge to even be able to get it to happen. But it's also not great. It's kind of terrifying the first time I heard it, because he'll do it when you finish a level, and I forget what he says. It's like, yeah, or something like that, and it's kind of horrifying. Sounds like a robot dying, basically. So yeah, some of the things that would have been groundbreaking for this game back in the day are significantly less so today. And look, here's the thing. I do love this game with nostalgia. I do love the very concept of saving the President of the United States who has been kidnapped by ninjas. That is a great idea, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it. But on the other hand, like, just listen to this list of NES games. These are strictly NES games. We're not counting any other console that had games coming out that were competitors to Bad Dudes in the beat-em-up genre. These are just the ones that came out that same year, of which I'm aware. There might be others that I'm missing, but these are the good ones, okay? Same year, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. We already talked about that one. It's really good. River City Ransom. That game is a bona fide classic. It is, beyond cult classic. It is, a rarefied air type of game. Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 2 is so good. It plays so well. It has the same spinning helicopter kick, and you can hit it with precision and know that it's going to happen. The only thing with Double Dragon 2 is that part with the disappearing platforms. That room took me forever and made me angry. But aside from that, Double Dragon 2, excellent game. And then Mighty Final Fight, which is a port of the arcade game Final Fight, which has an equally ridiculous premise as Bad Dudes, because the mayor of, like, New York City, I believe his name is Hagar, he just walks around in this, like, singlet and beats the ever-loving hell out of the ne'er-do-wells in his city to rescue his daughter Jessica, because, that's a very 1980s daughter to save. Anyway, all of those games came out in 1989, and in terms of gameplay, every single one of them is better than Bad Dudes. They're not as blinky, they're not as unpredictable in the hits and whatnot. They are much more predictable in terms of being able to throw the move that you need when you need it. All of the things. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, totally, Bad Dudes, that's exactly the same. No, it's not. It's not exactly the same as these other games, and so I cannot with good conscience give it the same score. Because here's two games that came out before that I think are better than Bad Dudes in terms of gameplay, not in terms of ridiculously awesome premise or nostalgia value. I'm just talking about actual gameplay. That would be Kung Fu. It came out in 1985, and the original Double Dragon, which is kind of the same game as Bad Dudes in terms of, like, you know, enemy types, move types, things that you can do in the game. Very similar. Came out in 1987, predated it by 2 years. So yeah, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, Bad Dudes, it's forever the greatest. Because honestly, it's not the greatest. It's not. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that front. But what it is, it's still fun to play. I'm not going to say it's not still fun to play. It is still fun to play. Took me a bit to get back into the rhythm of the game and to figure out how to best optimize my attacks and whatnot. And even then, I was still a suboptimal player of it. That's just the way that went. Anyway, but yeah, it's still a good game. It's still worth a play. Let me put a final score on it. So, final score-wise, what are we giving Bad Dudes? We are giving it a 7 out of a possible 10 cop cars from Streets of Rage 2. You know the cop car from Streets of Rage 2, where you trying to punch somebody in the face, and then you accidentally call the cop car, and it shoots your special move that you only get a couple of for the entire level, and you just blown one because you didn't know which button was which yet. Yeah, that cop car. Anyway, Bad Dudes is still fun to play. It still gets reverence for its nostalgia factor and for the fact that, you know, it is a beat 'em up on limited hardware, and they did the best they could. And it's totally playable. It's totally playable, and I dare say still fairly fun. Although, if you're looking for beat 'em up action on the NES, there are better games out there. We all know this. But Bad Dudes, you could do worse. You could do worse. You could be playing like Project Renegade or something. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good game. Feel free, those of you who are like, you better not take a dump on Bad Dudes. I didn't. I did fairly point out some of its flaws, but that's not, you know, the same as taking a dump on it. Game is flawed, but it's still fun to play. Anyway, people, that will do it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.